my biggest success stories is when I went to go and see a garden maintenance and building maintenance business. He provides two different services, and he found that he was spending a lot of time in the business, but he wasn't sure where the money was actually going. Okay, the money just came out and it went straight back out again. So what we did is we split it up into two areas. He does garden maintenance on the one side, and then he does building maintenance on the other side. And as we were having the conversation, we were talking about what are the costs involved in each different area of his business. Okay, how much is it costing him to do garden maintenance in general and building maintenance in general? Okay, and we went through the hidden costs of his business. You know, initially I said, well, what are the costs related to doing those jobs? He says, well, my subcontractors. I said, okay, yes, that's probably one of the first areas that we look at. Okay, if we're product-based industry, the first thing we'd look at is obviously the cost of the product. Okay, but what does it actually cost when you do that job? Okay, so we started talking about, well, you get in your car to go and do the job. You get in your ute to go and do the job, and you have 3 different utes. You know, we have to take into account the motor vehicle cost. So first of all, we had the subcontractors. So what we did is we split it up and we said, okay, well, what are the subcontractor costs for garden and what are the subcontractor costs for building? Then we said, okay, motor vehicles. So the motor vehicle costs, which motor vehicles are used mainly for garden or which motor vehicles are used mainly for building? Or if they're used for both, what is the proportion? Okay, and a lot of this is there's no fine, and this is something that I need to stress now, is there's no hard and fast rule, and there's no right or wrong. Okay, a lot of what we do is based on you and your opinion, and when we do it the first time, it really is not going to be 100% accurate. We're looking for 80% and above. 80% and above, the first time we do it is great. Anything after that, as we do it, and the more we start thinking about it, the more we're able to tweak it and fine-tune it and get it closer and closer and closer to reality. So there's no right or wrong, and everything it's mainly based on you and your understanding of your business, okay, and how it all works. So then we separated the motor vehicle to the garden and the building. We looked at, obviously we took into account like any of the stock that he used, the fertilizer, or you know, any of the things that he was using for each job. And we did this for the whole business, and we compared it for 2 years. Okay, what we're going to be doing today is really only looking at 1 year. Okay, but once you've got that 1 year there, you have the tools to go back and look at it and compare it to the 12 months before. Okay, when you're looking at things for comparing 1 year to the next, you really get an overall view in terms of what is more accurate and what is reliable. You know, when you've got one expense which is, say, 10% in the 1 year, whereas in the other year it's 30%, then there's a reason why there's a difference. One success story that I'll share with you is that when I went to go and see a web designer guy, okay, he does web design, he does hosting, he does all sorts of things like that, is we compared 2 years, and he got a huge reality wake-up call because we found that his bank charges, okay, so he takes credit cards, or his clients pay by credit card. He uses PayPal, a whole bunch of different mediums to actually get his cash. So he has control over when he gets paid. And it cost him 6% for 2 years in a row to get that money. Okay, so for every single job that he charged out for, every single invoice, from then on he knew that it was costing him 6%. And the reason he knew it is because we did it for the first year, we did it for the second year, and the first year was like 6.25% of income, and the other one was 6.45%. So it was pretty accurate, and he got a huge shock because he never realized how much money it was actually costing him to get that money in from his business. And you don't realize it because you normally have your, you know, we normally have our income, and then we have all our expenses. And then we have a figure at the bottom, which tells us nothing. It's just a list of numbers. It doesn't mean anything unless we're looking at the detail of where things fit in, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So what happened with this guy is we did these numbers, and we worked out that in the garden maintenance area, he was really making something ridiculous like a 9% gross profit. Okay, and in this area, he was doing a lot better. It was up to like 30%. Sure, his other costs that were down here were not that high, but once you took this into account, this part of the business, he was pretty much breaking even. And that's where he got the whole, money's just coming in and it's going straight back out again. I don't understand. When he was working in the business and he was actually doing the jobs, he was getting paid for each hour that he was charging. But as his business grew, he hired on more people and he ended up having to run the business. Now that he's running the show, he wasn't drawing as much money and he was, how can it work like this? And the big wake-up call was the fact that he actually spent 80% of his time on this side of the business. Okay, so there's the treadmill. It was really just like a mouse running on a wheel. He was just running it and running it and running it, and he didn't know why. And when we had the initial chat, before we'd even done the numbers, he then had the confidence to go out and he increased his rate straight away. And he lost clients. And he was happy. And that's why, and he was happy because he's now spending less time, and he was actually bringing in more physical money, okay, and he had more time to look at the other side of the business that was, generating more gross profit and net profit. So that is the why it's important for us to really look at the detail in terms of what's actually happening. It's not just, just looking at the numbers. It's really looking at the productivity of those numbers, okay, and how efficient they are and how efficiently we're using our time. Where are we putting our energy? Where are we focusing our marketing? What are we talking about when we meet people at networking events? What should we rather be talking about? Okay, so we want more time, we want more profit and more cash flow.